knowing what they were going into at all.
So, like, every movie for me that we're watching, because I don't research anything.
But A24, you have an expectation. You know it's going to be surreal.
Whoa. Don't put me in that box. It might be true, but...
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
Itisdpayne, who is quickly searching for the clue of the things of... I almost hit the pin button to... I missed the pin button, almost started an audio call in Discord as well.
Double phone calls.
Okay. Get out of here, tissue lady. That's...
But yeah, so for anyone curious, my setup is very different this week. I'll hopefully be able to get my normal setup next week. So if anything sounds weird or looks weird, depending on how you're watching this, apologies. But I'm moving, while Itisdpayne, you're searching for stuff. I've been moving furniture around in my house to make space for 2 new rabbits. So my PC that I usually record everything on is just simply not plugged in. So I've got my headset and a webcam set up to my tablet. And all this overhead lighting, which looks so bad.
Yeah, I could turn on my overhead lightings to make my light terrible too. I had to get up though. But hey, do you know in 2018, A24 was the distributor for Bo Burnham's feature directorial debut with the film 8th Grade?
I have not watched that, and it's also not on our list.
Yeah, I heard things, like not terrible things. I heard good things.
It's a very like teenage experience movie, right? Yeah.
If we did that, that would have been right after Lady Bird. Instead of whatever we put after it. Oh, Marcel. Who knows? Well, at this point, everyone had to see Marcel and know. By the way, we got a comment. I got multiple comments. One from Maddie saying I had to go to the click this. As she said, ha 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 ha, the ending, I cackled. I finally got to watch it. How dare you? That was only for you. For people don't remember, I think she like made little fart noises and it's like and like at the end of her episode. And let's see. I'm pretty sure the other comment, I know she said something on Twitter where she just kind of tweeted like, listen to the end, blah, blah, blah. And this is me clicking really quick as I open up another window. It'd be great if I went to the right YouTube page rather than the Audacity one. This one. As it loads. Ooh, yes. Content.
We're totally prepared every podcast episode. We totally don't just talk for a while before we even start recording and then forget that we should have all this stuff already up. Never.
As she said, Itisdpayne, ha ha ha, the ending, the anger. So. Okay. So we got that. I got that. So, Matt, if you listen to this episode, or if you're not like a complete narcissist and only listen to your own episode now, to be fair, I don't think either of us listened to any of our own episodes.
No, I think I did in the beginning just to check like audio quality stuff, and after that, I was like, okay, everything sounds okay to me.
When I edited them, because we used to do them live, I would rewatch it just to make sure that everything was fine. And I don't know if it's just... I will say that I feel like we've gotten better with our craft. And, well, we also... Neither of us have a ton of time to edit a whole bunch of, like, things.
Yeah, no, I know plenty of podcasts, like, start to do very well when they start posting clips to a bunch of places, but we both have jobs and other responsibilities. You fill up your whole schedule with content planning. I fill up my schedule with just more responsibilities for lives for me to have to take care of.
makes me sound bad.
No.
You do yours with hobbies. I do adult things.
Well, no adult really needs to adopt 2 new rabbits at the same time that are in separate
Such a challenge?
places.
That's it. Ow.
That's what you get for joking about rabbits.
Rabbit people, give me 8.
Funnily enough, the place I went to pick them up was in PA.
Oh, I know that place.
Yeah, that big old state.
Oh man, it reminds me of the video I saw on TikTok where they AI generated the like what the I like what would fit as the a married couple in each of those states, and some of those states got done dirty. I'll just say that. So, I don't remember. Pennsylvania just, I don't know. I'm guessing that it looked more like Philly, but I was just like, yeah, I think I've seen that couple.
So it was nothing like so drastic that it like really sticks to your memory.
Yeah, like, well, some of the states, yes, but
Not, but Pennsylvania specifically. You were like,
I'll
okay,
say the New Jersey, they looked like movie stars.
good for New
So, guys,
Jersey. Yeah. I realize we never, so you gave the A24 fact, but we never really did the full announcement. If this is your first episode stumbling upon our podcast, we've been going through watching 24 A24 movies for the year 2024. So yeah, as
that,
Dpayne mentioned, we've watched Marcella Show. We don't have eighth grade on the list at all.
but we did say, hey, we could do a round 2, which the title won't really flow as well,
Yeah,
but
I
we
don't think there
could.
were 25 movies left for next year. I don't who knows? They did come
To
out
be
with like
fair,
two in this year,
I
right?
think they I think they
Because
come out with like a new
there's
movie
the
almost every month.
at the time of recording this, the Kristen Stewart one just came out, right? The Ladies
Um,
Lie Bleeding or something like that. I think that's A24. And then we both have been getting ads for Problem Easter.
from the star. Let's see. Um, I thought there was a thing on
Christ.
Wikipedia
And it
that told me their scheduling. Going to their website.
Love Lies Bleeding.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know why. Like, as soon as I saw the thing, I was like, oh, yeah, that's Kristen Stewart. For some reason, I thought it was the Spider Man lady, which I think is Kirsten Dunst.
Yes.
But yeah, there's Civil War, Lives, Love, Bleeding, Problemista, Zone of Interest, Sing Sing, and I Saw the TV Glow?
Oh, so we might have 25 movies for next year.
Maybe. We'll just rename their company as A25.
That part won't really, yeah.
Yeah, that's. And we'll just keep doing that until we have enough for 56. Wait, no, 52 movies. That's gonna be a while. That's gonna be a big commitment. They have another one, Y2K. Coming
Tuesday,
soon.
Janet Planet, A Different
Yeah.
Man.
Sorry, then
Oh yeah,
a
Iron Claw
screenshot for.
came out while we started recording this, right?
Yep, yep. I remember that. Because
Priscilla
that
has
came.
also come out since we started recording this.
Let's see. Dream Scenario is the newest one on our list, and
Yes.
so pretty much, I think. Oh no, Past Lives is the second newest. I'm just
Was that
okay.
23 as well? Yeah, I see
Yeah,
it in
that
the
was
list.
23.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, Talk to Me is on the
So
list. That one's pretty recent as well.
oh yeah, yeah. I think Talk to Me just came out on was just finishing its like theater release when we were making the list, I think.
Yeah, because I saw it in
So
theaters. Yeah.
I didn't see it at all. I don't go out much unless I have to. Yeah, so Dream Scenario is the newest one on our list. Which just came out for rent, or at least
Yeah, because
Amazon's
I
letting me
think
know.
theatrical it was November
Yes.
sometime, like end of 23.
And so let's see. One, two. Hold on. Yeah. I'm just counting the 2023 movie. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 18 movies came out in 2023. Three of them are on this list. So that means 15? Yeah.
They have plenty
Yeah.
of time to come out with 25 movies before
Oh yeah. No, like
2025.
by the time we get to 2025, like we could probably just do 2022 and newer if we wanted to.
Plenty of
And, we'll,
movies.
and we'll probably run out. Like, or not run out, but we will still have way too many to choose from.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we said basically almost every other movie on the list, except for what we watched for this episode. If you didn't catch it in the title, this episode we watched Saint Maud.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's interesting because it was available on Amazon Prime, and the Amazon Prime rating was compared to the other A24 movies we've watched, like the Amazon Prime rating was low, and I was like, did people just see this as a free movie to watch and they watched it without knowing what they were going into at all?
So like every movie for me that we're watching because I don't research
But
anything.
A24, you have an expectation. You know it's gonna be surreal.
Whoa. Don't put me in that box. It might be true, but
I'm
I don't know.
more
I think one of oh go ahead, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say I'm more surprised. Like when we watched Lady Bird, I was like, "Oh, this movie's grounded. Like it just is. There's
Mm-hmm.
no psychological like torment. There's no like supernatural beings that might or might not be real." So I think on Amazon Prime it was rated like a 3.5, and I know that's like technically like a 7 out of 10, but I feel like I've seen worse movies on Amazon rated like a 4.2 or something like that.
Which movie? This one?
Saint Maud, when I looked it up on Amazon Prime to
Okay.
watch it, it was a
I wasn't sure if you
3.5.
were still yeah, I wasn't sure if you're still talking about Lady Bird. I was setting up the timer, so I might have missed when you switched. Um, yeah, so 2019. The other thing is I wonder how because it's a debut. I think if I'm reading Wikipedia correctly. Yeah, directorial debut. It didn't do well in the box office because it only made half its money back.
It was
But
short enough that
it what?
like I don't know that I would I don't know. We can talk about it more in a second. But I just
Yeah,
mean like it being available on Amazon Prime. I didn't look up its ratings on any other websites, but
yeah.
like even movies that I consider not good usually have 2 or 3 stars on Amazon Prime when we go to watch them. So for Saint Maud to have a 3.5, I was like, is this review bombed or is this people not realizing what they were gonna watch because it was free? Air quotes
What
free
else?
if you have Amazon
Yeah,
Prime.
I just we can get into it. Hold on. What top movies of 2019?
I feel like one of them is gonna be
What?
Transformers. It's always a Transformers when you look
Oh,
up this list.
it's got to be a Marvel movie. Parasite.
That is a good
Parasite was the
movie.
number one, or at least number one on this list. uh, hold on. I want box office. Top movies box office of 2019. There we go. Or top grossing, whatever. The Lion King.
Oh, the live
And
action one?
Endgame came out this year. So, and when did this movie come out? It came out in September. You know what? I think the reason why the box office wasn't too big is because it only aired it only had a theater release for a Toronto Film Festival and in the UK. I don't
Yeah, I don't
think.
remember hearing about this movie.
Oh, okay. Here we go. In the release thing, it was originally scheduled to be released in the United States on April 10th, 2020, and the United Kingdom for May 1st, 2020. But COVID pandemic postponed it until July 17th, 2020, and then was later pulled from the schedule. And it was released theatrically in the United Kingdom October 8th, and then direct to DVD and Blu-ray.
Okay.
So
So it's not
yeah, so
necessarily the movie's fault for the theatrical
yes,
earnings.
I was gonna say that's April 10th. It's a good day for no reason.
Just because you said so. But you set up the timer. So are you ready to get into this? Do you want to roll the D100s? I have my phone. I can roll digital dice.
What would you like? We can roll just a random number. We don't have to stick to these conventional ways.
You run Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, but I also have a D12 right here.
Do you want to do a 12? Change it up.
Well, sure, it's in my hand. Hey guys, a D12 is used in other games.
A 12-sided dice.
It's actually used in the One Ring. Oh, did you roll already? I'm like,
yes.
ooh.
And I'm showing
well,
the
it's
camera.
above average. I rolled an 8. Ah, dumb.
I can't cheat. I show the camera.
That's why I said hot rolled a 7 for everyone listening to the audio.
Oh, yes, yes.
You know what we haven't been doing is keeping track of who. That's one of the things I always like finding out, like at the end of like who did the more
Gravity
intros.
Falls. I mean, all we know is it's always a guest that does the intro. I think it's very rarely that we roll better than a guest.
Oh man, the lobster cracked me up. I don't want to give the synopsis. You do know you cursed yourself to do the synopsis now. Oh man. So yeah, so Saint Maud is a movie.
Again, if this is your first time here, the format of this is beware, there are spoilers ahead. First, we're going to do a short introduction to what the movie is, and then after that, Dpayne has the timer that he mentioned setting up. 30 minutes of us talking about anything and everything, so if you don't want it to be spoiled, Saint Maud is, if you have Amazon Prime, is free and available to watch, and it's short. It's like 80 minutes?
An hour and 20.
Yeah.
So, yes, 80 minutes.
So,
according to Wikipedia, 84. We were both wrong.
Intro credits, end credits. But in any case...
Middle credits.
In any case, if you don't want spoilers, come back here after you watch the movie.
I was about to say, if I ever become a director, but director wasn't the word that was coming, like, what was about to leave my mouth. I was about to say, if I ever become a dictator, which, is that a Freudian slip, or am I just tired? I'll leave that to the audience. But anyway, I would like to, if I ever became a director, I think it'd be funny just to, like, right in the middle, credits. And it's like, that was a short movie, and then just like, psych, space scorpions. I don't know. Anyway, Saint Maud is a movie where pretty much we follow this nurse who's going to take care of this. Sorry, let me start over. This we follow this nurse named Maud, who goes by the name Maud, who is Roman Catholic and is working as a private. I don't know how to pronounce that word in the Wikipedia article, but she's pretty much like what's it called?
Caretaker?
Yeah.
Like home care.
Home yeah. I forget. There's like an organization that's like I can't remember. It starts with, it then like ends with spice, but now I've been talking about Dune. Hospice, yeah.
Hospice?
Something, yeah, hot spice. the plot to Dune. But yeah, she pretty much is taking care of this woman who pretty much lived her life the whole way she wanted, and was a dancer and everything. She goes to take care of them, and she pretty much believes that it's her mission to from God to take care and save her soul, and shenanigans go from there, which we can talk into.
Yeah, you got more detail than I would have done if I got the synopsis. If I was given the synopsis, I would have been like, lady believes in religion so hard that it breaks
that
ribs.
It hurts.
Yeah. She likes hot Jesus. Anyway, feel free to start.
More ways than once.
Feel free to start your timer.
Yeah, I'm starting the timer right now. So I want to say, my first note in this movie is I just pay my taxes, so I'm going to see how much I enjoy this movie.
I was a little tired watching it, and for being so short, I
I like that part.
it was slower paced than I was expecting for an 80-minute movie.
Yeah.
Like it
Um,
wasn't that there was stuff that was happening that wasn't important. It was just like okay. I don't know.
mhm.
It felt like it felt to me like a short story that could have been cut down like an extra 30 minutes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like I understand why all the scenes were in there, but it was kind of like you've it's already been established that she uses religion or she sees religion in an unhealthy way. So then when they were like,
Hmm.
this is how she self-flagelates. And I was like, yes. I assumed she was doing stuff like this already. Um, but I am curious. Um, I you have a little bit more education than I do in mental health. Is this a depiction of schizophrenia?
Um, I, I never, I haven't gone down that part. Uh, to my knowledge, I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see the correlation, but my training was very much. It didn't go into that. It was um, more like kind of like urgent care, urgent care psychology, where it's just like people with teenagers, because that's where my field of study was in college. It's like emotions are so big, and so
Oh
it
yeah, and
was.
then the brain development
Yeah,
fact
the
that you
brain
have.
development. Yeah, it's my favorite fact about the brain. It might be the only one I remember, but yeah, it's a lot of my training and focus was teenagers, emotions so big, and brain and everything is so new, and not so much in like
The
yeah
wrinkles aren't
the
all there yet.
yeah.
Okay, because
Uh,
I was curious because
but I could see that. Yeah.
I feel like I've in a lot of those stories where you hear in the news that I forget what it was. I don't know the full details of the story, so apologies if like I misconstrue it, but I believe there was a story maybe in the early 2000s or the 90s where a woman had drowned her kids in the bathtub and she said that she had a voice speaking to her and she believed it was like she had to save her kids before they could become evil kind of thing. So it was like a religious thing. So, and then I think they pleaded clinically insane. And I don't know if she was, but it feels like a similar energy as Saint Maud, where her relationship with religion is one that she feels it manifest in ways that most people don't. Because she says what
Well,
very early on, she says he speaks through her and she orgasms a lot.
I my favorite thing now is to like as soon as I finish the movie to look up, uh, like just type in what movie mean and just see what like random people say,
Hmm.
just to make sure like because I'm like I don't have time to watch this movie again, but like was I reading this right? And the first but I was reading an actual interview with Rose Glass, who is the director and writer, and they're like, so like why'd you do? And he said and he's like, oh, the godgasms, and I'm like, excuse me.
I mean, that is what happened. She'd be like,
Yes.
his presence is here. And it's like,
You
does
know what?
everybody
Like
have to
when,
know that he's here?
yeah, there. Well, it's funny because like the first one when she's walking up the stairs, I'll fully admit my brain didn't put it together until like like I don't know it when she's walking up the stairs. I'm like I wasn't looking as like
Her being
anything more.
excited.
Yeah, it was like I don't know like. normally when you have these movies and it's like, oh, you feel the physical presence, it's not that reaction. It's more like, oh, and it's just like, man, she's really struggling. So I wrote, man, walking up the stairs after leg day be like, she's doing that. And then it's just like, excuse me? And then stretchy face.
A little scrim. Yeah. Hey, maybe it's not so wrong about the gym day. There are apparently people that say when they work out their core, it works out their pelvic floor. So when they're working out,
She was working out a floor.
yeah. So who knows? Maybe when people go to the gym, they do have the same kind of religious experience that she does.
They,
Who's to
I guess
say?
no wonder people like going to the gym.
um,
um,
yeah, the reason I kind of lean towards it is because of kind of like the last like 5 to 10 minutes. Because I think in
yeah,
the beginning, the movie leads you to believe that she just like made a mistake and doesn't want to admit that it was a mistake. Because you have the character Joy who's like, you're allowed to be a nurse? Who let you be a
yeah.
nurse? And then she drinks herself into a stupor and then she has the reimaginings of what she did. And then
Hmm.
the Joy Lady comes to her house. She's like, I felt sorry for you. Like, I understand it was a mistake and like is trying to connect with her, but it's like too little too late. Because she
Yeah,
already has a
that's
flammable liquid and is just like, sure, whatever you say, lady.
yeah. It's what was it? I think when her friend goes in, I was like, wait, is Maud's name Kathy?
Yeah,
It's like,
Katie.
did they or Katie? Oh, was it Katie? I don't know.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, it's like I didn't hear the name. I didn't hear her name until then, and I heard it incorrect and was like, what's her name? And then but then it was just, and then it was the other thing. I was like, did she always have two different color eyes?
I don't remember because a lot of the
Yeah,
film is really dark.
yeah. I think that was something that they were saying, like when she was having her awakening, pretty much
Hmm.
when she became ascended to sainthood. That was like the sign of the. That's what Glass wanted, like to have show, like she's
Transforming.
chosen. Yeah.
Hmm. I did like, so like this sounds terrible, but I did really like how the director cut the last like 5 seconds of the movie
Oh yeah.
because it
Yeah.
was very much like, she's ascending to sainthood and it looks like everyone's screaming like, don't do it, somebody stop her. And then she
Hmm.
believes that they're all kneeling and like, oh, she looks like the paintings and the drawings that I was gifted to by the last lady I took care of that I was supposed to convert. And then like the split second of her just like screaming. And I was like, yeah, that's how you end an A24 film.
Yeah. It was just bomb, and like she said like that was on purpose, like
Hmm.
obviously because it's in there, but it's just like you have her view, and then it's just like I think
Reality.
the interview was just like, was that her to be in hell? It's like, if that's what the viewer wants to think, but it's like, is it hell? Is it reality? And it's just like, well, that brings in the question of what religion. Well, I don't know. I guess I don't know what Bible the Roman Catholic Church goes after. I don't know. I'm not getting
I
into that.
don't
I'm not
know
going into that
either.
conversation.
And I was
Yep,
raised
I'm.
Catholic. Woohoo.
Yeah, it's a completely different conversation that has nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah, all I remember distinctly was so yeah, so she's the caretaker to this older woman who has what are the stage 4 lymphoma
Yes.
yeah, in the spine. And she's like taking care of her and she's like hoping that she can save her and all this stuff when the lady just wants to bang her. And I was also confused at the location because everyone had accents except for the lady she was taking care of. And she kept walking past Coney Island. And I was like, is there a Coney Island somewhere else that's like foreign?
That's something I meant to look up too. I'm looking it up now. UK. Let's see. Yeah, there's a Coney Island. Wait a second. I didn't ask say New York. I said UK. Hmm? That's still UK. I recognize that. Wait, is it? No, this is in Wales.
Oh, Wales. Well, I knew they had accents. I didn't say specifically where their accents were from, but
Blackpool, Britain's Coney Island. I don't know. That was something I was also wondering. It's wait, wait, I found it. Wait, that's Northern Ireland. Wait a second. Have I been here? Anyway, this is a completely different once again, completely different conversation. But yeah, it's I know there's one in Ireland. It seems like there is actually, yeah, Blackpool, England, uh, which they're saying is Coney Island. There, does it say where it was filmed? Uh, anyway, go ahead and say what you say. Oh, no, okay. Production 2018 began the same month in Northern Ireland, Scarborough.
filmed in Yorkshire.
The Shire.
Sure.
Bilbo Baggins. Anyway, yes. But it seemed much more like an arcade. Oops, I didn't mean to close the Wikipedia article. Arcade thing. But yeah, anyway. That was also confusing to me as well.
I was like, this isn't New York.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that was just a thing that I was gonna point out. But yeah, so yeah, because she eggs on the poor girl where she's like at that birthday party where she is hanging out with a lady that she pays to sleep with because she's like, you know what? I don't have much longer to live. I'm at least gonna enjoy it. And then you
Mm-hmm.
have Maud, who's like, she'll
Maud
never.
be creeping.
Yeah, Maud's like,
Just
well, you can't do that because she's about to be saved, and she can't do that stuff if she's going to be saved. And then I think the lady she's caring for has every right to be like, I don't know if she's a bigot or just hyper religious or is jealous.
maybe both.
Maybe all of the above.
Yeah. Maybe not the jealous thing. At least from what it seems like from Maud's character that we experience or that we see at this point. Because there is a point when she snaps and then slaps Amanda, and then from there she goes and
Spirals.
yeah spirals and has all this stuff and uh, gives the dude a little bit of a good time, like just off the side of the bar, and then just goes and tries to like laugh herself into a conversation, and then just just runs into this dude and gets into a one night stand where he's just like, "Hey, I remember you now." Like all these like pretty much like she's known for like this party lifestyle, and that's like she come like after that like she comes home. I will say the one scene where she's like in there and he's like okay, and then starts doing chest compressions on him, and then chest just just cracks in, and it's just like well
Somebody
wasn't
has
expecting that.
unresolved trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's implied that what she tried to save somebody's life, so she was doing chest
Yes.
compressions, but then she did them too hard and caved the person's chest in.
Which is pretty common. Normally, when you do CPR with people and you do chest compressions, you it's not uncommon to push so hard that you crack ribs because of trying to like it's
The force that you need. But
yes.
has anyone punched a hole through somebody's chest doing that?
At least one mod. I don't know. I don't know. I just remember hearing that when I was going through my first responder training.
Yeah, I mean, like better cracked ribs than a stopped heart, right?
Yes.
One can heal, the other can't so much.
What was it? There was something. I wrote, like, you know what? If she does that every time she drinks, I can see why she said no to going out to drinking with the whatever her
Yeah, she
face is.
basically ends up like imagining like a tornado in every drink and everything's whooshing. And I was just like, yeah, that's overstimulating for sure.
Look, she's just trying to summon Jesus Cthulhu. Cthulhu Jesus. From the
Jesus
deep.
Cthulhu.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Chris Thulu. I'm like, okay, I'm done making those jokes.
I I have less invested in it than you do. I
Yeah. No one I know actually listens to this. No one in my church listens to this podcast, and this is going to be the one. Let me check it out.
but I made the joke about hot Jesus. I always think it's so funny that in movies they tend to pick a version of the crucified Jesus where he's got like a fucking 10 pack. And I'm like, that man was starving. He didn't have lean muscle. He just was lean. I don't know why he's depicted like this.
It's the same thing where people are like, I'm in shape, I have abs. It's like, no, you just have a low body fat percentage. Technically, everybody has abs. It's just
How visible they are.
cushioned.
Yeah. But yeah, and then she even like lingers over his body. And then she gets the gift from Amanda where Amanda writes, "You're my savior," which of course feeds into Maud's like already kind of imbalance in her brain.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like looking at all these pictures of like dudes and she's like, "Look at that guy." And I'm like, "Can you stop touching these guys?"
No. um. Also, when after she like is in her apartment after her night of hedonism, and was like repenting and all that, and it's just like the ripple like that comes through the window and ends up on her little shrine. I'm like, ah, the Paimon ripple.
It's back. They're back.
Yep.
The cult.
Um, something that I want to go back to earlier. This is after stretchy face staregasm, when pretty much Amanda Carol, that's her name. It's like, hey, me and Carol are gonna spend quality time. You can go out. And so she goes out and walks in the town and everything. And as she's walking through there, she stops in front of like the Coney Island arcade thing, and there's this like this homeless dude, and she's like kind of out of it, and just the homeless guy's just like, "Hey," and just like he comes up, he's like, "Oh, sorry," and then she says something very strange, that's like, I know I didn't get the whole thing, but it's just like pretty much the lines of it, like she's,
It gets repeated later. I remember that much.
yeah, I couldn't, I know I wrote.
Let me see if I can find
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
quotes.
She's like, Yeah. I don't know if it's in the quotes, but I know she said something on the lines like, "Let your pain lead to your salvation" or something like that. And he said, "What?" And he's just like, "I don't know." And then it's like
It's like let
after,
it not be a waste or something, right?
yeah,
Never
something
waste
on the
your
lines.
pain.
Yeah, it was something, and I was like, okay. And then directly after that is when she throws like the seeds or the things down, and then kneels down on it to pray. And I wrote, I'm like, you know what? If this is what's going to be happening, I'm not sure if I want to see where this accelerates. And then it's just like, okay. And then she burns herself. Like, I think, I think that she burns herself after she tells Carol she's no longer allowed to come over.
Yeah, on the I don't know what they call it there, but they have
Yeah,
like the
it's
lid on it. It's a
yeah, it's like,
stove, but yeah.
yeah. And then after she has the night and the Paimon moment, I'm just like, it's when she comes up with her plan for salvation, but it's just like she gets like the picture of, I think it was like of Jesus or Mary. I don't know which one it was. I don't remember. But she puts all the thumbtacks in and then puts it in her shoes, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I think it
I'm
was
like,
Saint Mary Magdalene because in the beginning
yeah,
of the
because that was her
movie,
saint. Yeah,
yeah, and she was like, "Oh, they don't usually make necklaces." She's like, "I got this one off the internet."
yeah. So she's like, don't worry about it. But yeah, it was. Um,
Yeah. And then you mentioned the party thing. The in the beginning of the movie, she does say that she's like essentially recently converted.
Yes. Um, yeah, it's definitely one of those things where I'm like, did she just make her a portable version of uh an Iron Mary, whatever it's called? Just, which I'm like, to be fair, that would kill you, but it's it's like okay, and then she's walking around town just like this ecstatic face on, and then she's like looking at the house from the dock, and then is just like doing spy work, just like oh hey, it's like what are you doing? And then it's just what was it? She gets all mad at the nurse because she's like, oh yeah, she's not gonna make it. I don't get all that connected. It's just
No, she
the
said
new nurse.
she is close, she is friends with Amanda, but it's a shame because there's not much time left. And then I think she goes, but that's the way the cookie
Yeah,
crumbles. It's the
yes,
business.
that's what it was. And he's like, that's it. It is what it is. And then Maud's just like, how dare you? And
And
walks
just
away.
hustles away.
Yeah, had a toddler temper tantrum. And then the one thing I thought was interesting. Well, there's a few things I thought was interesting, but the we see her go full cult mode as she like is making her like robes and her prayer dress as her friend is in there just like are you okay, and it's just like like, like muffles her out while she's like very much like are you okay. Like are you all there, and she's just like doesn't say anything, just drifts around and just like I think it's time for you to go. Oh yeah, yeah. um but um
I tried to mute myself for that sneeze, but I don't think it muted.
oh, it's all good. I heard I heard a noise and I'm just like
At least oh wait, Audacity seems to still have picked it up. But anyway, apologize.
it's
Apologies.
all
I
fine.
sneezed.
It's fine. Um but the way the thing I thought was interesting was just the way it was shot of Maud walking up and it that shot of her walking up and hiding in the shadows, and then the nurse leaving, and then her like just coming out of the shadows. I'm like, that could have been the beginning of a movie. Like that could have been
There
the
were
beginning
a
of
lot,
this movie.
yeah, there were a lot of really cool filmed choices.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked a lot of the I feel like you know the word for it because you did directing and film stuff, but just like the choices for shots because everything did a really good job of evoking kind of like Maud's current mental state.
Mm-hmm.
Like the party, she was anxious, she didn't want a lot of people there, and she knew she couldn't keep control Amanda because she wanted her to like drink less alcohol, she wanted her not to like hang out with you said her name, Clara,
Carol.
Carol. And
Hey,
like
you got the C.
and then everyone was like in her face and she was getting dizzier and dizzier, and then it felt like the filmography was matching that sensation of things kind of like blurring and being loud. Same thing at the bar where she's like sweating and hyperventilating and she's kind of unsure as she's getting more and more drunk. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like when the tornadoes started happening and all the drinks, it felt like the camera was like as if you were stuck in a storm.
Mm-hmm.
So I really did appreciate that, but I think it just was like for me the way that the story comes together, I was kind of like, okay, like maybe that's the thing where the only thing that really surprised me was like the last like minute or so. The rest of it, I was kind of like, this makes sense. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like I guess another question is the when she confronts Amanda at the end, and then Amanda changes. It's like, okay, was that Maud's hysterics, or that's not the word I wanted to use? Like her state of mind that she's in, like whether she's now I'm thinking of like Pathfinder, an illusion. It wasn't an illusion.
Whether or not, like, yeah.
it was real or not. Like, and
That's why I brought up the idea of like, is it a
yeah,
depiction of schizophrenia, like schizophrenia relating to a strong religious belief? Because
hmm
as far as Maud knows, it's real.
yeah. With Maud's mind, it was definitely a real thing. And it's just like, well, I the way this whole movie was going, I wasn't expecting her to be like, your face so weak, and then just like flip around, and I was like, is she gonna start vomiting like in The Exorcist? But the thing is that I the it's really quick, and when she's going around and putting holy water on the thing,
The
and she kept
crosses,
trying to,
yeah.
yeah, and she kept trying to put the cross on Amanda, and she's like very uncomfortable, very just like actively no, and it's just like it seems to like, oh, she's like in discomfort because of her how far she's gone, and just like definitely doesn't want to be forced into this and everything, as Maud's trying to do, and it's like, well, that's holy water. I guess I would explain why, if it was like a demon, why she was like having the reaction. It's just like, I don't know, it could be either or.
Yeah, it is up to the viewer, up until the very last scene, where at least you know the final scene, what's it, you know,
Yeah,
what the people
it's
on the beach probably actually see versus what Maud imagines in her head.
you know what, thinking about it, it's like I thought it was interesting, like the afterglow she has, like after she's like, I saved her soul, and it's just like she wakes up and it's just like very quiet, and she's like, here are my wings, isn't this cool? And then like goes out in her I forget what they call the robe for monks.
For monks or nuns? Because,
Both.
oh, I mean, for,
I,
uh,
I don't
is
know.
it called, I think for nuns they call it a habit. I don't know if they also
Yeah, I
call it
think that's the
that
same
for
thing.
monks.
I think so, because when I was reading the book, the Rule of the Rose, I think it was, that's what they kept saying, like in his habit he was hiding stuff, and I'm like,
A
okay,
religious habit is a distinctive set of religious clothing worn by members of a religious order. So, yep,
we'll go with
all
that.
applies.
Just like how she went and got her own her own saint cross, she got her own homemade habit. But yeah, like how she goes there and she's just, as you're saying, like the whole scene where she's just like dumps the fire on her, and she's like, she's looking up, and
The
I think,
clouds are parting.
and I don't remember what she says, but she said, I think she says something, and then it's just like lights the match as you see people going, and then it's like her view as everyone. I,
Kneeling
I
before
feel,
her.
yeah, I feel it feels funny because I think every time we come to like anything close to like a religious horror movie, it or almost cult esque, we we default to Hereditary, but the ending of this is like
Midsummer.
almost Midsummer, but also like in the end of Hereditary, how they're all bowed down and
Oh,
in that
that part.
shrine,
They had a
and
lot
it's
more
like,
clothes on.
yeah, they did. That's the UK. That's the one thing they say. We want clothes for our elderly. Uh, Ari Aster's just like, no, everyone's naked. but but yeah, they're all bowed down, and she's like, yeah, 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 and then, and then she became Darth Vader.
A lot crispier. How are you doing on the timer? Because I just saw the giant
We got
time on my Audacity.
the audacity of that timer. We got like a minute left, but I think we kind of said
Yeah,
everything.
it's a shorter movie. It's a pretty straightforward thing. It's a pretty linear timeline too, so it's not too hard to explain it. Um, I guess, do you have anything in your notes that we didn't talk about yet?
Um, I thought she was gonna burn down the house when she was getting everything set up.
I thought she was gonna burn down the apartment she was in while that Joy person was in there with her.
I didn't think that because I thought she still wanted to save Amanda.
That's fair. It would have been a little bit too early at that point.
Let's see. I like the wallpaper in Amanda's house.
Amanda
It's
had a
very-
very fun decor.
oh, there's okay. So there was one thing. It's not in my notes, but it's something I noticed. Um, there in the beginning of the movie when you were learning about Amanda being a dancer and all that, Maud's going through like all these collections of posters, and there's a poster of Amanda like kind of holding her head, her hair's like kind of draped down, and she's kind of like upside down, like it was like her famous movie poster, and something I don't know if it just so happened to be this, but it's the same position that the woman that Maud killed while trying to save her in the beginning of the movie.
Mm.
She was in the same position. I think there's like another thing like where we see that same pose,
Maud's
but
like upside down. Like she does the hovering thing as well.
but if we look at the Wikipedia and see the movie poster, if we turn it upside down, it's the same thing.
Wow, it's all connected.
Yeah, that was the connecting thing. That poster.
No, that is
So
interesting. No, yeah, like
yeah,
there was a lot of attention to detail and stuff. It just still managed to feel a little bit drawn out for me.
yeah,
I could have all just also just been sleepy.
it's. I
It's a very
think
like quiet movie.
yeah. Well, we can go to this. Like, would you recommend it to anybody?
Um, certain groups of people, not everybody. I don't think I could just tell people like, "Oh, this is a good movie, you should watch it." I think
The
it
ultra religious,
probably not, no. And probably
or as I
not
like to call them, the super saved. Go ahead. Sorry, I
but I
interrupted.
think the other group that I would recommend the other thing I would look out for other than like making sure they're not super religious, it would be like me having to recommend it to people that like to think. Because there's some A24 films that like you can watch it and be scared and not have to like dissect a whole bunch of stuff, but you can dissect a bunch of stuff. This one, I think you have to be actively dissecting things that are happening, and that can be tiring.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I think this is definitely a movie that watching it once is enough. Like, I think I would watch it again if I was with a group of friends that wanted to watch it.
There's some hints
Um,
and stuff you could probably try and catch out in earlier parts, but it
yeah.
is there's not too much in it. It's not like again, not to just bring everything back to Hereditary, but Hereditary, watching it multiple times, you're like, that's really important.
If we do another A24 series, we should just make it so that Hereditary is always one of the movies we watch, and then just invite um shoot, my brain just erased
K
everyone's
to
name.
the J.
K to the J. It's just like, hey, you want to talk about Hereditary again?
We have a lot
And
of friends with like J's in their name, so it gets a little
yes,
confusing.
we have like 8 that show up. Um, Just speaking about Jay, it'd be funny to get JR Flames and get him to watch Hereditary.
It would be funny if we could get a group of friends and we just watch Hereditary and then ask them to do like the intro and like come to us with questions.
Yep.
But we can't, it'd be tough to guarantee that everyone would be the first
The
time watching.
the problem is with Hereditary, not to keep talking about Hereditary, is that that was one of the more difficult just shows to plan because I think I asked 2 or 3 people and they all were like, no,
We should
no,
ask
that's
Maddie. We learned that lesson.
no. Maddie got what she deserved. Maddie, if you're listening to this, I don't take it back. We're gonna invite you back and you're gonna watch Maud Snail Man. I got them all mixed up. But
Marcel,
anyway, yes,
other M names.
Maud, Maud the Saint, and whatever the with shoes on. Well, she got shoes on for right. But yeah, for who I would recommend it to, I think that would also be something I would take into account is, definitely people that, because I know people who wouldn't watch Passion of the Christ, because not because it was like, oh, a movie about Jesus, but it was just They're like, it's too hard to watch something like a movie that's gonna depict all that. And it's like, well, my dad's one of them, but he doesn't really watch anything. So,
Mm.
except for like, I don't know, a sports. That's a thing I think people watch. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think,
some people watch sports, yes.
um, but no, I do think, yeah, it's definitely. I don't think it would hit home with everybody. It would have been interesting to see if this movie did get an American release, a theatrical release, because I don't know. There's a lot of good things in here, but at the same time, I'm like,
I feel like, yeah, there are a
yeah,
lot of scenes in it that I think are better served probably on a big screen,
mm-hmm.
especially with like the way
So
that it's color graded and the lighting. Like, my
we should have saw it in IMAX.
if only it didn't make me dizzy. Um, but yeah.
But yeah, I think the same thing as you. I would recommend it, but I would, for example, I would recommend it to John, but I'm not sure if I would recommend it for Elizabeth.
Hmm. Oh,
But
with
then
how
again,
how much she feels things
yes,
would probably
yes.
be very unnerving. Like the
But she,
lobster, to me, it was easy for me not to put myself in those people's shoes because they're all like so out there.
mm-hmm.
But I imagine the people that Maud interacts with, yeah, if you're feeling their emotions, it's not fun.
It's probably also very close to her job.
Mm, yeah.
Um, but but not like just thinking about our other guests. Like, I don't think this would be well. Hold up, I gotta look at the schedule right now for a second. I wouldn't recommend this to our next guest. That's right, we're watching The Lighthouse with Knight, and the Saint Maud would not be a movie I would suggest for him. I don't think he would have any problems with it, but it just I think it falls too close to that like Hereditary theme.
Mm.
And if people were having problems with watching Hereditary, not that it's like a one for one, but it's just as Hereditary is more the psychological cult feeling of like what the heck is the slow burn of what the heck is going on. Saint Maud is like the religious fanaticism of borderline insanity, where it's just like it gets a little bit too uncomfortable with the
The imagery and
religious
the
beliefs
yeah.
and imagery. Yeah, so that's all I got to say about it. Now, the real question is, would I? As I said, this question formed my mind. I'm like, this is a ridiculous thing, but it's just, hey, a double feature, Saint Maud into a ghost story. It's like, hey,
No.
you have trouble falling asleep. One of them's gonna do it for you. You're gonna fall asleep and then wake up to, and then just scratching.
And it cut out for me via Zoom. I don't know if it came
Yeah,
up on
it's
Audacity or
I
not.
I can see it on my Audacity.
Look, I mean,
Um,
we already have like the triple feature of all the religious trauma back to back to back to back to back. So,
mhm.
because last week was Witch,
That that was on purpose.
and then, well, that one was on purpose for a certain
Life after
holiday.
Beth. Life after Beth is coming out next week. Because next week for us is Easter, and
Yes,
that
yes, yes.
was on purpose. And then yeah, I think after Easter, I lost the thread for because there's really no like
You got Talk to
big
Me close to Mother's Day.
yeah I get yeah I guess that's what mothers would like their children to do, have them talk to me.
Just wait till you watch the movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched the movie, so I don't know anything about it.
But
Um,
in any case, so
I
I
think it's
guess
after that. That's when everything's just kind of. It's
everything that we
like
couldn't fit into a holiday.
yeah, it's like nothing really fits, so it's just gonna be buck wild.
But in any case, yeah, I'd say not, we don't seem to be chatting more about Saint Maud, so I guess we'll just
Hmm.
like we said, lighthouses next week with a guest.
Yes, we have Knight, for the Ginger Dead Man.
Yes. He's been on for Wild Ride movies, and The Lighthouse is also a Wild Ride, and I believe is also available via Amazon Prime, or it was at least for a time.
I think it's renting now. I think
Oh,
that's
boo.
it's. Yeah, I think. Hold on, is it still up here? Oh, this is the movie after The Lighthouse.
Oh,
According
wait.
to
What did you send me on Tubi? Was that The Lighthouse?
yeah,
Oh, okay. So you don't have to
yeah,
rent it. You just have
yep,
to watch
that's what I'm
ads.
saying. Yeah, it's the you gotta rent. Why am I not signed into Amazon? Well, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about this now. um, but yeah. So
You do have to rent it now.
yep,
I blame the
not on.
fact that it was an Oscar nominee.
Every time I hear Oscar, I just think of Oscar the Grouch. Just I haven't watched Sesame Street in years, but hey, it's there. But yeah, there's that. I can't think of anything else. If you guys made it this far, uh, get yourself a cookie.
And
You deserve
then
it.
like, subscribe, comments, rate us, let us know that you do so we can thank you in future episodes. We read out comments on this episode. Um, we
Please do
just
that before you light yourself on fire at the beach for hot Jesus. Nothing else? Okay, bye bye.
I was hoping you would just say that, and that was the episode.